Check.
Dude, you got a great freaking radio voice.
I have practiced with this thing, kind of.
Well, you do talk into a mic.
Well, yeah, you do it enough, and you learn. You hear your own voice enough. You try and correct it.
Right. This is Mike Honore. I originally tried to get some fucking police come on the show, but they really don't want to talk about this kind of shit.
And who can blame them right now? Honestly, it's not. It would not behoove them right now to talk. Nobody's going to listen. It's unfortunate.
Of course,
you can't have a debate when people don't listen. People aren't going to listen to them right now. So.
Right.
Fine.
So that was I don't know, because I know a lot of shit about the case now from talking with a few people in the department. So obviously none of them are going to come on the show, and I figured the only way to not sound like an idiot online talking to yourself about a particular case, especially as a white man, and just being absolutely buried, is to invite you, man. And I hate to say I'm using you for your color, but I'm kind of fucking.
It's fine. Well, I'm gonna assume you got me for my mic skills and my intelligence,
yes,
and also my color. I get it. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You need to have color in here. You go to who you know. Get in touch with me, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not to say that I'm not a racist or anything like that. I've got, I know that's always followed by a racist statement, but I
really thought you were. I've got black friends. I was like, come on.
No, I really don't have black friends.
Yeah.
I have had black friends, but I don't have black friends anymore. I mean, it's hard as shit to keep friends as an adult. It's
any friends. Like I have friends that are my best friends, and we're just not friends. Such is life. That is all.
Yeah, man. There was a guy. We were supposed to go explore the world together. I slept on this dude's couch for 4 years.
Nice.
When I was in high school.
Right.
So we were really, really tight. Like his family loved me. I loved hanging out with his family. But yeah, I haven't talked to that dude in maybe years.
I mean, you're an adult.
Yeah,
he's an adult. Life's separated. It's not actually weird if people who were friends in high school remain very good friends. That happens in movies. I haven't seen that happen in real life very often.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, it's a bummer. That's the thing. I feel like my friends from high school that I don't talk to, I feel like we're still friends. That's what it is. Like if I ever linked up with them again, it would kind of go right back to where it is. Well, it'd be a couple little moments like, what's going on in your life? What's going on in yours? Hey, we're friends again. Like that's just what happens. It's weirder when you're like, hey man, shouldn't you be a grown up now? Because I am.
Yeah.
Try it out. So
yeah, that's one thing. You do have to start eliminating people from your life. I think editing people from my life has probably been the best thing I've ever done.
You have to. It's inevitable. Just your friends, they got to go somewhere. You got to go somewhere. If y'all keep trying to, if being friends means you have to give up things you need to grow, then it's really not worth it because your friendship isn't. If your friendship stopped and it's hindering your life, then man, end it.
Right.
Move on.
I mean, sorry, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons once a month, every month. And this is all the way up until only a few months ago. And primarily it's because our main guy, he was moving to Seattle. And it's cool. I get it. But he was our dungeon master. He ran the whole thing. I don't know how much you know about Dungeons and Dragons. But
not that much.
Right. Well, I mean, I've got kids, and I also want to do my show. And I can't do both.
Right.
So I had to cut that out. And I guess I haven't talked to them as much as I do, but you still talk to each other. It's not as often, but good friends, I think, are kind of
have they moved on? Are they doing things with their life as well?
Oh, of course.
Well, then, yeah, it's off. It's one of those things that you do feel a little guilty if you have a friend who, you have to move on and they're still stuck in the same life. And it's sorry, one of us has to grow up. I think just you do the same.
Well, that's kind of what my more recent episode was about. One of my cousins, and people keep asking, because I was so very vague about specific statements and stuff like that he had made. But one of my cousins, he's gone. You know anything about MGTOW? You ever heard that?
In name, I don't know much about it now.
Yeah, so it's like men going their own way. It's some sort of philosophy, if you will.
Okay.
Some of it makes kind of sense. Some of it. Because I know people that are they would rather not deal with a woman. It's just a complication they don't want.
Right.
They don't necessarily think negatively of women, but they're just sort of, it's not for me.
Right.
They don't but they understand it. They're not super misogynist people.
Right. And they're not against women. They don't hate them. They they realize that can be a complication.
Right. And that's more, men's rights activist people. And even some of them will have relationships they just never marry because they're, they're worried about some of the realistic consequences of marriage.
Right.
I understand that. But these kind of people are like, no woman can have a genuine interest in anything that a man has a genuine interest in.
Okay.
Because they all fake it just to try and get your money. And so it's just kind of like, all right, dude, look, I love you to bits, man. I love you to pieces, but you're starting to sound like the bigoted pieces of shit that raised us.
Right,
and it hurts me to see you lose not use your intelligence.
Right. That's the thing, though, is when you see somebody do something like that, like it's a firm belief that they believe, clearly. But it doesn't mean it's really smart or or have much facts. It's a feeling. Sometimes feelings aren't smart at all. And if that's how he feels, that's cool. It's like, but that's not necessarily the case. I know there's plenty of fish in the sea. I know it's an old statement, but it's true. Like, some women are after your money. That's real.
Well, yeah, that's. I'm not saying that's not a thing. That shit happens.
But you got to dig a little deeper if you really care. If you don't want to dig, hey, don't dig. It's cool. Do your thing. If you really want to be with a woman, you got to work it. You got to dig in, find the one that's not after your money, and they pretty much reveal themselves after. a while.
Yeah.
So
it takes. I think you got to get a bit older, and so do they. Like, I think you in your early 20s and shit, you sort of feel like you know everything, or at least coming out of teenagerhood, you feel like you know everything, and up into like through your 20s, you start to learn just kind of how much you don't know,
right? And
you really start to piece together a more realistic idea about what the world is.
Yeah, there's people who get married in their early 20s, late teens, even, and
I did that.
Yeah,
worst thing I ever did. Worst fucking thing I ever did.
But it's one of those things you got. Like, my parents did that. They were married at 19, and it was like I wasn't born at the time, so they had no reason to do it. I guess they just got married, but you either they're still together, nobody's after anybody's money. It's just one of those. There was this magic thing, I guess, where they found each other. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
We're compatible. This is gonna work. Let's just knock this out and do this.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen. It rarely happens.
Oh, I know. Even with my first wife, we're much better friends now. Like, we get along great. We got a kid together. We still communicate and interact with one another. We're totally cool.
Right.
She got a boyfriend. They're moving in together and moving actually to New Orleans, which is fine. But I mean, I get we're better now. Just because we understand that when we got married, we had no business being in a relationship like that. We just weren't compatible.
It's a hyperactive thing when you're young, though. Of this, you don't understand all of love. You understand the feeling and the emotion.
You don't understand the work.
No, you don't understand the work, and it's work. It
takes some work.
Love and feeling is 10%, 90% is work.
Yes,
and if you can do the work, you're gonna make something magic. But most people can't. It's hard. It's not that you aren't. It's not possible. It's just really hard. And at 19, you're like, you don't know shit about anything. So so you're not willing to compromise or give up things.
You also don't know yourself enough. You don't know how you react to shit. You're just sort of reacting at that point.
Your brain's not even done developing yet.
Exactly.
So so you trying to work with somebody else's thought process? Nope.
So yeah, man, let's get to the primary reason I'm having you on. So there's been obviously a rash of police violence, both to police and also to black people yet again.
Yes.
Dude, what the fuck is the problem from your perspective? Why is this shit still going on? It's 2016. What the fuck?
My biggest issue, honestly, I'll say it. I firmly believe cops aren't out trying to kill black people on purpose. I do believe there are some that would like to. Of course, but I think they're also smart enough to know that you just can't do it. You can't just go out a killing.
Right.
Like, it's not going to work. Some of them do have they're definitely racist. They have a unbiased opinion or whatever you call it of black people. I don't think they're out there trying to kill people. I do think these cops now come from different backgrounds. A lot of the cops I know, there's three types I really know of cops. There's the guys who become cops for a job.
Yep.
Okay. Well, maybe let's say four. Become cops for a job. Family, where your dad's a cop, your uncle's a cop, brother's a cop, something like that.
Right.
There's the ex-military guy who can't really do much else, honestly, which sucks. Which that needs to be reformed. How that works.
Yeah, it does.
And then there's the kid who got picked on and beat up and bullied, and now he's able to wear a badge and flex a little authority.
He's using that power because he didn't get it.
Because he never had power, and that's when you do like that one. You do a 180 in life where you got picked on, pushed on, and now you get to do the pushing. And unfortunately, a lot of the people you get to push are gonna be black. It's unfortunate for everybody, but it's hard. But like I said, I honestly don't think they're trying to. I think they come from a weird background and a thought process. And I also think the training for cops is piss poor.
Oh, it is. Talk to any cop that's serious about their job, and they'll tell you the training's piss poor.
It is, and that's a problem. You have people with guns out there in authority who don't know really what to do. So when you assume something, you assume the worst. Like it's like I'm a civilian. If I think somebody had a gun, I may pull a gun, my own gun, but I'm not a cop who should be trained to de-escalate situations before it ever gets violent. That's the problem. They don't know how, and I think that's what happened with Alton Sterling. Everybody's seen the video.
Yeah,
like I really don't understand why he was tackled in the first place when there's two cops. Like that's just weird to me. He
didn't seem like he was fleeing or run away, or I don't know. I know that the cops did have a report that he did have a gun.
Right.
Apparently he had chased somebody off the parking lot.
Right. He apparently chased some homeless guy off the parking lot.
Right.
I mean,
and he started carrying a gun because people were bothering him when he was out there selling CDs.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, I've been in some fucking scary situations here in Baton Rouge, so I don't fucking blame you.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's daytime. Like it's usually like what was it, like 12:30 at night?
Right.
It was late. It's late at night. It's at this convenience store. I'm not trying to be there. It's at 12:30 at night for an extended period of time, especially. Like he was out there trying to sell CDs. Sure, illegal activity. If you want to call it that. Selling CDs.
Whatever. Selling CDs.
Exactly. Like that's what but that's the argument some people use. Like he's a criminal. He shouldn't have been doing crime. Selling CDs, dude.
Yeah, people also like to bring up his criminal record, which to me is absolute bullshit.
Yeah,
who cares? Like I've done some stupid shit when I was a teenager. I didn't get caught for it. I'm not gonna say it's because I'm white, but I don't know. I've been in some hairy situations with some cops, and I got some leniency.
I've been in some dumb situations that I was able to get away from too. Like
there are some cool cops out there.
There are some of them just like, dude. Just go. I don't have some of them.
They don't do the final paperwork, man.
They're cool and they're some of them are lazy, and they also know like, all right, this kid is just being stupid as shit.
They understand that people are kids. You shouldn't ruin someone's life.
Well, yeah, it's a waste of both of our time for us to do this. Just get the fuck out. You can look in somebody's eyes and realize that they're not a thug or a criminal as a teenager. It's like, oh, this dude's just caught up with some shitty people. So he's doing dumb shit, and you can see like this kid's about to cry. Dude, just go. You're not gonna do this again. Right. If you do, then we'll deal with that.
Or even like I know a bunch of cops that they don't give a shit. They'll bust you for weed. They don't care. They'll take you weed, and that's about it.
Right.
Dump that shit out and then go. Right.
Yeah, that happens. But these cops, there was no reason for him to be tackled with two cops. Like, if you think a guy has a gun, you approach him, sir. We had a report. You have one cop talking, one cop. If you got
watching.
If you got to have your hand on your gun, I get it. Mm-hmm. That's life. Do that. But one does that, one does the other thing. You ask him. If he says no, if he starts getting belligerent, being a dick about it, maybe pull the gun. Honestly, you don't have to have it drawn on him.
Right.
Have it out, ready to go. Mm-hmm. You're a cop. You can do that. Cool. But why was he tackled? I don't understand. You're trained enough. This dude is not.
He wasn't going for a gun. He didn't look like he was running.
He's not Doc Holliday. Right. Dude ain't gonna quick draw on you.
He just wants you to leave him alone. Like he just.
Right. And he'll pull.
No one got shot. No one got hurt.
That's it. I mean, the whole thing is weird. Like I don't. The shooting shouldn't have ever happened. He didn't run. He wasn't fighting you hard. He struggled, but I'm gonna struggle too if I have two grown men on me. Like I can't breathe.
That's never made sense. I'm like, oh, you're resisting arrest. Well, dude, they fucking tackled me and put my head in the dirt. Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, it's not fun.
This is concrete.
Yeah,
like that hurts. I'm bleeding. I'm scratched up. All of it was just. It's too much. It shouldn't have gotten to that point. They went from A to Z real fast.
I think so as well.
That's the problem.
I think that's also a problem with them. Like I think they need some sort of psychological. They don't have any sort of psychological support within the department, and they need that because they deal with like the least common denominator of society all the time. So they're constantly expecting someone to pull some shit. Right. I mean, some of them do at least. I think it needs to be shuffled up a little bit more so we have more of a mixed bag.
No, you're right. I think it is just. And these cops aren't coming from. Most of them aren't coming from the streets. They aren't coming from poor backgrounds where they had to do things. So they don't understand anything like about how things are. Like how being poor is oppressive in itself. Like you don't understand. Like it's not about being a criminal. It's not about being black or white, it's poor sucks.
Poor does suck, man.
Poor will wear you out and break you down.
Yeah,
that's like hard.
That's probably one of my biggest fears is being absolutely dirt poor again. Like, I can't. That's the worst.
My
the fucking worst.
One of the greatest. One of my happiest things is like I have a car, I have a truck. It is paid for. So to me,
that's amazing.
So to me, if shit went real bad, I got a house. Like I feel like I could live in my truck. Like if I need to. Like that's because it's paid for. You can't take it from me. Even if I can't put gas in it, can't fix it, I got some sort of shelter.
Yeah, so what we're thinking about doing is actually buying an old bus, stripping out the inside, converting it into an RV, and buying a lot of land, putting a fucking RV on it, and build a house we want.
Right.
But if anything happens, fuck it, we'll get in the van and drive the fuck off.
Yeah, new tires and gas will get you where you need to be.
Exactly.
That's fine.
So it's a thought.
No, it's not. It's not a bad thought, actually. But I think these cops just don't come from the same background. I think there's a lot of ex-military who they've seen real combat, and it's hard.
Of course.
It's difficult. And you come back and like you've learned to be on edge.
Of course. Because
you've had your life on the line in a foreign country, and that's difficult. I get it. And you come back here and you can't just shake that. That's PTSD. Like, and you're dealing with it. And there's nothing easy about that. But that's where better training, better evaluation comes in. That's how you get better cops who aren't on edge, who don't assume their life is on the line when there's a man sitting in a car with his girlfriend and child. Like you can't assume that this dude's gonna shoot you,
right?
Because you assume anybody can shoot you.
What I want to know about is with the is it Philando Castile?
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know about is why the NRA isn't all over this shit. Because he told the cop that he had a concealed carry permit. Like he told the cop he's okay to carry. And like I think there was something about him, they asked him to go for his license. He said he was going for his license, and the dude got shot. And you can listen to the cop's voice. The dude is fucking terrified.
No, he's scared. He's trembling. I told you to keep like his voice was shaking. That was
I don't think anybody necessarily wants to kill anybody. I think it's all just we all seem to be just a complex bag of our experiences. And that's the only thing we can really pull knowledge from. Right. And I think we need to expand those experiences and have people that are capable of expanding those experiences in order to properly police us as a society.
Right. Yeah. Cops don't people killing a person is very, very hard.
Yes.
You have to deal with that on any level, whether you're protecting your house, protecting your family. If you have to take a life, it is going to affect you. Nobody wants to do that on the job. The job sucks. My job sucks. My job is actually my job's okay. But I'm saying being at work in general is a hunk of your day that is stress ridden, and because you have to do your job and support yourself and your family.
I'm just going to warn you right now, brother. Don't get me started on jobs because I fucking hate my job.
But yeah, hate your job, love your job. Yeah. Your job is your job. It is not your hobby. It is not fun. It is not meant to be. It pays bills. That's what it is. So the last thing I'd want on my job is for some shit to go down like death. Like there's no way. Just that would suck. Have to deal with death, and you don't want to take a life. But to be in a situation where you think you need to is awful. And I don't think, and that's where the training comes in. Like you weren't there. It wasn't at that point yet. It couldn't be.
Exactly.
It couldn't be.
Exactly. That's I guess that's what's so disturbing about these videos. It's like, no. Some people are a lot more rational than you think.
And yeah, but you're supposed to be as a cop too. It's not just some people are, some people aren't. As a cop, you have to be because you have to protect and serve the people. And
in order to do that, you need to understand what's going on.
Exactly. It's like I was actually reading something today about how people were posting on NRA's Facebook, just like, where are you?
Right.
Why aren't you saying things? This is what you defend. Is it because he's black? Why? Because everybody feels like you defend a white guy if he had a concealed carry license.
Of course you would. They would be all over that shit.
Yeah. But this guy, he's doing everything you want. He's got the concealed carry.
He's got the permit. He's totally legal.
He's transparent about everything.
Yeah, he lets him know before he goes for anything.
So that he followed all the rules that you preach, NRA. Why aren't you backing this man up at this point? And it's a bad look for the NRA.
It is.
It's an awful look. So
Well, that's what I think about a lot of these conservative institutions. I think they're killing themselves. I think they're honestly shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah. Every single time they turn, like they come out, oh, we don't think gays should marry, or they don't support, like, the little white girl went missing. Let's support her, but the little black girl goes missing. They don't give a shit.
Right.
I think they're just shooting themselves in the foot. They're showing their true color, and that's phasing themselves out.
Exactly. You when somebody does everything you want and they still become the victim, you have to back them up. You got to be all around. You can't just pick and choose your battles. Right. Like, this dude was doing everything the NRA liked, so you should be front and center. I think this is wrong. What happened? He said everything, but even if you don't have full knowledge, like that's what's starting to come out as people are getting more information of them. Which the core of what happened day one, dude said he had a concealed carry permit. He told you he had it. Still got shot. You should come out and be like, that's wrong.
Right.
He obeyed the rules. Where were you? Then if later, if anything crazy comes out, you're like, oh, well, we didn't have all the information, but based on what we knew, we said that, and that's what we believe.
Exactly.
That's it. But you didn't. You haven't said anything, and you would. You do that in a heartbeat. Did they back up George Zimmerman when all that shit went down?
I think I'm not sure if they did or they didn't. I
can't remember, but I feel like they would have.
Oh yeah. Well, I know there were a lot of at least conservative people that were definitely on his side.
Right. Which.
I don't know. I don't know where I fall on that one. I didn't look that far into it.
I didn't think about it until I read this today, and actually right now it hit me to think about it. But I'm gonna look into it. Like, I don't feel like, even if I don't feel like they did or didn't, but that should also have been a thing they did.
Yeah.
I don't defend George Zimmerman by any stretch.
No.
Dude's an asshole.
No.
And the best dude,
from everything I've seen of him, he just seems like a very shitty person.
Recently, he showed himself to be a bigger asshole, but. Yeah, NRA, if this guy has a permit and he felt like his life was in danger and he shot the kid, you should back him up on that point. You don't have to agree that he killed a person was right or wrong. You just have to agree that he obeyed the things that you talk about.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well,
That's all it is.
It seems like in their training they should be aware if they have somebody pinned down like that. I mean, in the case of Alton Sterling. Now, I don't know if the cops are claiming that he went for the gun in his pocket. They did find a gun on him.
Yeah. I
don't know if they were justified. According to the police officers I've talked to, I mean, I don't know.
There's been a lot of people are starting to spit facts out about how long it takes to draw a gun. So it's a quarter of a second.
Right.
That's you're talking a professional gun user,
right? And probably a holster
from a holster. That's completely different from pulling it out of a pocket. I can't get my wallet out of my pocket half the time. I definitely couldn't get a gun, which is oddly shaped in a pocket.
I agree. But I mean, what if he was going for it? I'm not saying there. I mean, there are definitely some fucking morons on the police force.
No, absolutely.
There are probably equally as many as in society.
Even if he was going for it. It's still two vested, trained police.
They should have been
officers.
able to handle that situation.
Exactly. Well, they had him. Yeah. Well, how could you not? Like, honestly, I don't want police brutality.
No.
And you can't use a chokehold.
No.
But you know what? You take that instead of taking a life. You be like, hey, you choked that guy. I could have shot him.
Taking a life is serious.
Like, I could have shot him.
Something.
I could have shot. You do an eye poke like a stooge eye poke or something. But
do something.
But don't kill him. That's fucked up. Like.
Honestly, if I was being an idiot, I would probably never do this in a situation because I'm a fucking pussy when it comes to police officers. They can fuck your shit up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't. If I was going for a gun, I would hope they poke me in the fucking eye rather than shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, like there's so many little. You can fish hook my mouth. That'll slow me down. You put your fingers in my nose. There's little manipulative stuff you can't do at UFC, but. Well, not anymore, but stuff you pull that on somebody. I don't need to be choked, but like punch me in the face, like punch him in the face.
Right, do something.
Punch in the face will slow you down quick.
Yes,
a quick chop to the throat.
Oh yeah, especially in the nose, man.
Oh yeah, when you can't
nose
see.
Or throat. That's the worst.
Yeah, cross your eyes up. You can't see. You can't do nothing. All you're trying to do is hold.
You're frozen, man. You're frozen in that instant.
But all of that is better than getting shot 6 times in the chest and back. Right. That's this insane part. It's easy. It seems like it's easier for them to kill him and try and justify it than use quote unquote brutality.
Right. I'd rather brutality than kill the dude.
Yeah, exactly. We all would now, but I mean, sure, it would have been some shit where like the Cubs brutalized this guy.
I'm sure.
But
that would have gone to court and it looked much better on the department than, a couple of white cops shot this black dude and it looks like they have him pinned down while they did it.
Right, exactly. Like that's part of the training. If your brain as a cop can't think that far ahead, then you probably shouldn't be a cop.
Probably.
Like if you can't de-escalate a situation or not kill a person, you shouldn't be a cop. If killing is your go-to, if that's your step 3 in 12 steps, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, I agree. So what are you feeling on Dallas? I mean, do you
Dallas, there's no. They shouldn't have been shot. They shouldn't have been killed. Of course. Clearly, I don't believe all cops are bad. I think that's part of the shit that's going on is that people start making these wild assumptions.
Yeah.
Like people think that if you believe Black lives matter, you mean white lives don't, and it's not.
No, it's not the case.
If you believe they shouldn't have killed him, then you believe all cops are racist and bad, so you should shoot him. And this is what this guy thought, and he killed the cops, and it's wrong. He was way wrong, and it's not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody, like especially black people, because like other people are up in arms now. People are buying more firearms or trying to get loaded up.
That happens every single time.
Yeah, because people are assuming there's some purge about to hit Baton Rouge,
right?
And it's like, y'all, if you not do it, it won't happen. Like, one person can't cause a purge.
Well, from what I'd gathered, to some of the beat cops that were actually out there monitoring the protest, to them it didn't seem like they were really upset. Like the family legitimately seems upset. The people connected to the man, obviously, they're fucking upset.
Yeah.
I mean, the mother of the dude was out there, I think, telling people to go home, like go away from the gas station.
Right.
And so they ended up moving someplace else. But I think that there's just a problem, man. I think that, and I don't necessarily think it's those people's fault. I think they're just in a bad situation, and I think there's a lot of controls within society that puts them in that place,
right?
Which is just fucking sad.
No, it is. It's hard when the assumptions people make are bad. Assumptions get everybody hurt. It's always happened. You assume somebody's going to do this. You assume a crowd of people come out, black, white. Just if you got a crowd of angry people about an issue, this time it's black people about this guy dying.
Right.
If you get a group of that, there is potential for something to happen. But there's also you prepare, sure. Like people were upset about cops in riot gear. I wasn't.
No.
That's what you want.
Right.
You want that because if I'm at a protest, I want it to be as peaceful as possible. I'm not going to start any shit.
No.
But the people who start shit, deal with them. Fuck them. They're ruining this whole thing.
I think the problem is the police in the past have been found to provide movements provocateurs, like the movements that are unpopular politically. They will hire people, or they'll even have cops dressed in plain clothes to instigate and sort of create that kind of thing. Because cops also exist in this weird sort of addiction to adrenaline.
Right. Absolutely.
And so, like, especially the younger ones, like they're really
because a lot when you don't know shit, you become a cop because you want to bust people.
Right.
You want to get into that. You want. There was a guy I went to high school with who I know was young, like became a drug cop, like a SWAT team cop. Who
I don't dig drug cops.
Yeah, well, no, but that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be that guy, vested, helmet,
right?
You know, semi-automatic. Busted in the houses, like that's what he wanted because he made his dick hard. Like,
right,
that's what
it's fun.
He loved it, yeah. And that's what some of them do, and some of them want that. Somebody want the riot to break out because it's the same asshole who starts a fight in a bar. Right. It's that same guy. He's just picking on somebody because he wants to fight. He thinks he can take everybody, and if he can't, and that's another thing about cops. There's that mentality of this all blue, you know what I mean? So if
that thin blue line, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like anybody. It's just like frat boys who travel in packs. If one dude gets out of line, you can trust all your boys got your back.
I think they should hold themselves to a higher standard.
Absolutely.
I think that should be drilled into their fucking heads. It's a part of their training. If they don't get it, then you get the fuck out the force.
I had friends too who I told them, like, dude, if you start shit, I'm gonna let you get your ass kicked. Yeah. I love you to death, but you bad for shit.
Yeah, man. I got a buddy, Jared. I drove him home drunk and watched him kick out the front glass of his window. The dude is fucking touched in the head. He spilled a beer on a dude at the varsity,
Yeah.
and the dude was like, obviously a weightlifter. Guy was fucking a wall.
Yeah.
And Jared is maybe 4'1.5", and he maybe weighs 100 pounds. And he was starting shit with this guy, like drunk as a skunk. And I was like, look, man, at a certain point, I'm gonna let you get your ass kicked. And I'm just gonna watch.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of them, though, it's usually how the little man syndrome goes. Like,
I do.
They got the little guys, and they're gonna start shit with the biggest motherfucker because they know one, either he ain't gonna do nothing, so he wins just verbally. I told that big bitch to go away, and he did. Or two, he's gonna get hit a couple of times, and somebody's gonna stop it.
Yeah.
And once he gets hit, he's a victim.
I don't think he's a victim. I think in some instances you deserve at least
absolutely.
one. At least one.
But he's gonna come off as a victim.
Yeah.
To everybody and be like, why would you beat up that little dude? It's like, because he was an asshole.
He's an asshole, right? He was asking for it.
You deserve to get your ass kicked. And I think cops
from time to time.
Yeah, cops travel in that same thing where it's like they know that somebody's gonna help them,
right?
Because they're cops, and that's what you do. Cops like they don't. No cop rolls by himself ever.
No.
You're gonna if a situation gets out of hand, there's gonna be at least two, if not way more. So if some shit happens, they got backup, and that's people can live in that world of like, oh, I never have to be alone, and that's great. And you can talk all this shit at that point. Mm-hmm. It's frat boy mentality. It's fucked up, and and that's the problem. That's part of the problem, anyway.
Part of the problem. Yeah. So I was saying, what about do you think that? I don't know. What about the idea that it's all just a distraction? We go over the same fucking arguments as a society over and over and over. And it's like, dude, can we've already made a decision on this shit many, many times. Can we just fucking set it right and move the fuck on?
Right. Well, we can't. We just, every situation is a little different enough to where it makes people think it needs to be revamped completely. It's just a little, like, because now police brutality ain't nothing new. Cops
it's been around for a while.
Ain't nothing new. But cell phone cameras are new.
Yeah, cell phone cameras are new.
So,
well, that's one thing. I think there's a counter action to like any sort of corrupting force that we seem to find. I always find some sort of counter action. Mm-hmm. Like this shit been going on a long time. There's a lot of shit, like especially in the government, that's been going on a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And now that we're interconnected through the internet and cell phone cameras, and we can capture all kinds of shit, and we are our own broadcasters.
Right.
The popular shit tends to rise to the top.
Right.
We can pay attention to the shit in our society a bit better. And that's one of the reasons I think the whole voting system is it's totally fucked.
Oh, it's garbage.
I mean, I think as a society being better connected and understanding the important topics in life, I think that we could probably do with some sort of popular vote. Granted, I think we need some sort of controlling mechanism over it. Right.
Well, I think old school voting behooves behooves particular people, because if you can get, it's just like when when they bust people in to vote, or some people can't go. You got old people, you got kids, you got poor who can't vote, and those aren't you don't want their votes a lot of the times. And so the way you vote now is that it's like people who can drive and can get to a place and be there and are legal, and don't have any criminal records.
By legal, you mean have an ID?
I mean, that too. And I mean, never been to jail,
right?
Any of that, you're legit for whatever reason. Like that's who you want to vote. And
I think the never been to jail one is actually a particular problem because I mean, if you look at the drug laws in this country, I think that's a very, very big problem, and I think it contributes to these for-profit prisons that are out there. Yeah. And I think it's just stupid to look at how our society runs and assume that every single thing that we see bad is a conspiracy theory. I think that some things actually make a lot of fucking sense, especially when there's an incentive like money.
That makes a lot of sense. If you can get money off of a human being, it's slavery. It's slavery. It's just you call it something.
If you look at the profits for the black market that surrounds drugs in general, I mean, it's insane. It's larger than any economy almost in the entire world.
Right.
So, I mean, imagine that kind of money. And then it doesn't want it to be legal, because if it's legal, it loses all of its control over the process.
Right.
So imagine that kind of money influencing policy. So I mean, I think that's a big thing, and also they can use that. They can drive people into prisons through this oppressive drug policy, and use the for-profit prisons for cheap labor to make things.
But and then at the same time, once they do their time, if they are allowed to get out, then they can't vote and really contribute to society.
So you're taking away.
You're taking a person out of society. You still want the government, the laws.
Well, I think you're forcing them into slavery almost.
It is absolutely, but because you're taking the laws that are meant to govern them that they have no say over.
Of course,
and that's insane.
Of course,
like you can't do that. So you put them away for a minor charge for a thing, then they get out and they can't contribute to their own justice system.
Right. Well, I think that I think it was. There was a speech by JFK on Joe Rogan's podcast here recently, which was fucking amazing. And it was basically JFK saying, similar shit to this, that you can't be, you can't create a society like this.
Right.
And that I think that last part, I even forget what it is. Ask not what you can do for your country.
Which good.
Yeah, that whole thing was, I guess, the last part of that whole speech. And the speech was just fucking amazing. If you haven't heard it, go.
Yeah,
look
JFK.
it up,
I haven't heard it in a while. I've heard it years ago. JFK was good at speaking.
Yeah, and they shot his ass. Look at all the people that have tried to change the world
shot
for
him,
better.
Shot his brother, Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
Malcolm X. It's all these people. Yeah, nobody. Some people just don't want the world to be better. They're better off living in their own world without it.
Well, I think
changing.
more and more as we go along, the idea of this monetary system that we've adopted that sort of controls us, I think it's antiquated, and I don't think it's. I think more and more it's going to become less of a thing, especially when you look at where we're going with technology. I mean, automation and AI, like machine learning, is just fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
And eventually, if we stay along that line, machines can do everything.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything.
It's going to turn into that.
It's going to be Madhouse.
What was the movie with where everybody got fat? The Disney movie?
Oh, Wall-E.
Wall-E, yeah. Everybody was fat and is just gross. Yeah. I mean, we can. It's possible. I mean, that could be
a thing. I mean, it's far off. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, because people are still here. Like it's slowly changing. You're gonna always have. It has to change with generations.
Well, if you look at what Lee Kurzweil is saying, it's an exponential curve. So the more and more the faster and faster we go technologically, the faster and faster we'll go technologically.
Yeah, and we've gone very fast in the last 20 years.
Yeah, we've printed organs into people. I think it was a bladder. We've worked out ways to print livers. They're very complicated because of their very difficult blood supply structure.
Right.
So they're very difficult to print, but we worked out a way to do it.
It's crazy.
We've done some absolutely insane shit. Like, there's artificial intelligence now that does some amazing things. There's one that's working for a law firm by the name of Ross. It's a completely artificial intelligence, and it works for a law firm. IBM's Watson, that's their AI.
Right.
He worked as a teacher's assistant, and there was no one that interacted with him that could tell that he was a teacher's assistant.
There's a Turing test on him and passed it?
No, I don't know if I don't think he's passed the Turing test.
Okay.
That would be very, very interesting to see if one could, but we keep getting closer and closer.
We do.
Especially with integrated things like, have you seen Google's, I think it's called Deep Dream?
No.
Okay, so it's basically a machine learning algorithm, and it basically used the picture database in Google Images and basically just taught it things like this is a dog. Because machines have difficulty learning that a Great Dane is the same as a Chihuahua, but it's such a different animal, but they're both a dog.
Right.
It's a difficult concept to program for.
Yeah.
So it's a way of giving the machine a way to program itself, just basically learn that this is a dog, and you can run it in a reverse fashion. So you can give it an image, and we'll basically find similarities in an image along with its other similarities, make a tiny adjustment, and then it'll run again and again and again. It does this several times over the picture until it gets something completely out of this world. It looks like eyeballs. I mean, it looks like an acid trip. It's fucking crazy.
Nice.
But it's machine learning. So now we can look at there was some new stuff that's coming out that computers, machine learning can make absolutely wonderful works of art.
Right. Well, yeah. They're making a brain.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
Because that's how brain works. That's how artist brains work.
So my idea about how to fix all of this in society is I think that It's probably not even my idea. I've heard, so many fucking ideas doing this show. But the idea I have in my head anyway is that we have to give the control mechanism over to something that is truly altruistic. We have to virtually create God.
Right.
And in creating AI, which seems to be the thing that we're doing, every big advancement that we take, every big step that we take seems to be moving us further and further toward that. I think all of our instincts to like, ooh, I got to have the newest bauble or video game system, whatever it is, it's pushing that edge further and further. Look at augmented reality with the Pokemon Go thing that's out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I know I haven't played it. Like I haven't been into video games in many years.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to.
I never did Pokemon.
No,
it's never been my thing.
Oh, I did actually. I had the card game when I was really, really young.
Yeah, never. It was. I never had the card game. I never played any of the DS games, which the people or the Game Boy games.
I played like the first one, and I was into the cartoon when I was really, really young. I lost the cartoon first, got into probably the Game Boy one, and then moved into the cards.
Yeah, that was it was just that was after me.
Yeah,
I missed that one. So, but it's like just watching people get into it. Where I work, there's a bunch of students. And these kids are running. I had no idea what they were doing because it was day one. They was running around like typing like found one. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you doing? And then I saw it. I was like, oh, this is getting out of hand. And like a couple hours later, it was like Pokemon Go. People just started poking Charizards.
And everywhere.
Pikachu's. I'm like, oh wow, this is insane.
So that's augmented reality, or it's a type of augmented reality. And the next step in that, it's being pushed by the video game industry. And the next big step in that is just going to be a pair of glasses that we can wear or a contact lens that we put in, and it changes our reality.
Right.
Imagine being able to walk into like or basically put yourself through your augmented reality, a graffiti artist chat room. And so you put this graffiti artist chat room into your augmented reality, like you log in, right? And as you're walking around, first off, you have all the tools to do graffiti on the walls, but it's all completely virtual.
Right.
And then everything that you see is just the data of all the other people that have also logged into this chat room. So you can walk around town and see the work of graffiti artists, but it's not actually on the buildings.
Yeah, that's insane and fantastic. Because it's one of those things where it's, especially like with the graffiti artists, I love seeing good graffiti, not just garbage.
Oh, of course, man, dude. When Banksy came to New Orleans, I was excited. I took a trip down to New Orleans to see some stuff. Unfortunately, one of the pieces had already been vandalized.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what asshole are you?
Right.
Like Banksy, that's his thing, and it's great, and it's a moment. Like, and I've seen some Banksy, not in person, but I've like looked it up, and the fact that there's been stuff that's been covered makes me sick.
Right.
Like,
it's good work though. It's really like it says something. It's not just, somebody's name on a fucking wall.
So like actual Banksy work, it was like, I know part of some of his art is the permanence and the not permanence. Right. He's aware that it's going to get covered, but he does it, and that's great. But it's some of it that stays, and that's great. But like, yeah, to have it there and it'll disappear, or you save it, or it'll just be like a save you have, like, oh yeah, that's where he did that. Like,
right. Well, that's one of my favorite things. There's a train track that runs right across the back of my property at work. And I used to be a smoker. I've since quit. Congratulations to me. Oh, that shit's hard to quit. But I still go out back and hang out and watch, just hang out with the smokers, because that's the cool kid in any work environment I've ever been into.
That's always a cool kid.
Hang on with the fucking smokers.
That's cool kids. I mean, I was in theater when I was in college, and that's how you met people.
Yeah, you smoke.
Smoke with them.
Yeah, you just sit out and you have conversations and smoke with them.
Yeah,
especially at work.
Yeah, I've hung out with bands. I've hung out with different people because they're smoking.
I got hung out with Dave Ross.
Nice.
Yeah, that night I bought a pack of cigarettes. I wasn't sure if he smoked, but if he did, I was going to go outside and have a cigarette. And he did. And I went outside and I had a conversation with Dave Ross.
It's a great conversation start. Like, that's it. Hey, man. Yeah, thanks. And then, great show, huh?
Right.
Yeah, it's a great show. And it just escalates.
Right, exactly. It's just a way to talk to people.
It is. It's a converation starter. It's an icebreaker.
It is. You got a light?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, great show. It's one of those. That's where I hang out. I've always hung out there.
Yeah, so I love me some hanging out with smokers, and I used to be one, but I'm getting older and I got kids. I got to cut this shit out.
Yeah, it's the cool. It's still the cool kids.
Yeah, but one of the things, there's a train track that runs back behind where all the people smoke. I work for a healthcare organization, so you got to be off the premises. So we're all the way back next to the train tracks, and one of my favorite things is when the trains are going by, getting to watch all the graffiti go by. Yeah, I mean, there's some shit stuff out there, but there's some really good work.
Yeah, someone was like, "Oh, I want to stare at that for a little while," but it's on a train.
Right.
And it's going.
Right. It's just fun. I enjoy the hell out of it, though.
It's just that's people don't think it's an art form. I really do. It's
it's definitely an art
you
form.
go out there, especially the really good ones, because it's not in a frame. It's not in a museum. It's on this transport that's going across the world that it may never go anywhere else. So people never know this artist may have seen this artist work. Right. That's fantastic. Like, of course. It's just that's the guerrilla way to spread art.
It is. It's brilliant. I don't know. I've got a soft spot for graffiti. I understand why people don't like it. I get it. Yeah. At the same time, I have a soft spot for it.
Right. I've always loved when places like we have one in town where the artists go where they've graffiti artists, like you need more of those places. It's like skate parks. I mean,
right. You need skate parks. You need places and things for people to do that aren't just go to school, go to work. Yeah, there's the alternative. Some people don't want to go to a park and get on the slide or play volleyball. Well, that's the idea. I don't think anybody is apart from that. I think most people just generally want to have a good time while we're here because we got a little vacation here on this ball of dirt that's floating through space. Yeah, let's make it cool.
Yeah, as long as nobody hurts anybody. Right, hey, go nuts.
Right, exactly.
Hurt yourself.
And I think that there's great ways of doing that through technology. Yeah. I think technology is going to be our way forward. And I know a lot of people are scared of the whole, socialism and all that kind of. Yeah, but it has to be. There's no other way to do it. You can't put a human in charge of our society. We obviously fuck it up.
There needs to be a checks. I think that's where the problem. That's why people don't want it. There's no checks. That they can think of. But you need checks and balances, sure. But also just we're flawed. We're people. We're humans. Of course, we suck. Of course, we suck. Some people are biased. Some things I believe in that people that don't believe in, and vice versa. Where it's just like if I was in charge, your personal beliefs have to come into play, and if they don't, you're lying to everybody. Like it just doesn't work. So, but like if you have some kind of artificial thing that doesn't judge, it just assesses. Right. Like that's what you need. Like, because some things are hairy situations that don't need.
But I mean, you'll also have it. You could also through technology have it collected to the consciousness of everyone. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is a thing a lot of people don't like. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have this thing that's through technology connected to the consciousness of everyone, it knows what everyone wants, and it also knows what everyone needs, and it can weigh those things accordingly and take care of everything. Yeah. Through automation. It doesn't cost anything because if you look at the whole structure of how money is made, none of it. Why?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's the only place we really can go to survive. I think you have to take care of people. Everybody wants this to be a cool place. Everybody wants to be taken care of. And yeah, I understand there's some socialist implications, but honestly, if you didn't have to work and everything was taken care of for you by the machines, which is the goal of our technology to make things easier on man.
But exactly. That's the point of technology.
So why not do that? Like, if we can do that, wouldn't that be an awesome fucking thing?
Yeah, I think just some people get really frightened of Skynet. Like, I know.
I get it, but that's fiction, man.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
I mean, no, you're right. Like, we're too flawed and we're too dumb. We're dumb. We're dumb little shits, like hanging out here.
Which is why I think there has to be. It can't just be a direct voting system. No, God, it can't just be that the popular vote wins because there's some dumb motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, well, especially like the presidential vote. The presidential that's long been a popularity contest. Right. It just is.
I also think a lot of people don't understand what the president is. Like, he's not a dictator.
No.
He can't just walk around doing the shit, whatever the fuck he wants.
He's a figurehead. That's all he is. That's why.
He controls a very particular branch of the government. There are other branches of the government. That's why he can't do all the shit he wants to do when he gets in there.
That's why it's like, when Obama got elected, I was happy about it. But also, people's happiness. Like, I was glad he was there because it was different. It was good. It made it was good for the country in general. But there were some people who were just like, black president, and I was like, y'all know the president ain't shit, right? Like in the big scheme of things.
I love that. I absolutely love that he made it president. But all the people that give him hate for all the shit he didn't do, I kind of like, okay, yeah, but you understand he can't do all that. Yeah. He can't just walk in and say, he can't just lay his dick on the table and be like, look, this is how the shit's gonna be.
Black people in charge now.
Right.
Boom. Like, you can't do that. That's what a lot of black folks thought. Honestly, they're like, we gonna be in charge of the country. It's like, we've never been in charge. No. We'll never be in charge. We'll have better rights over time. He's not necessarily.
Well, I still think the last thing he should do before he walks out of out of office is just be like, just throw something ridiculous on the table, regardless of whether or not it sticks. Just like, boom, pot's legal. First black president, pot's legal. Walking out.
No, absolutely. If I was president, my pardons I get, bitch, you won't even believe the people I'm pardoning.
Oh, of course.
Like it's gonna, like I'd be an asshole about it. Probably let out some real pieces of shit. Like just somebody. It'd be some drug dealers who like nobody like on an Escobar level, but like this dude was selling some weed. But like
no violent shit.
No, but somebody who's just like, I don't know, I can't even think. I might let out one just to be fun. He'll probably die quickly.
Yeah.
But just because people look kill him. Just I don't know. I don't even know who. Anybody crazy. I can't think of anybody, but
I don't know. You'd have to let him out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I try to, instead of just letting him out, I'll try and let everybody out.
Yeah, just open them.
Yeah, we're done. Just to see if you could do that this is the last fucking thing. Just try something ridiculous. Yeah. That would make the world a better place, I think.
Absolutely. The stuff I come up with is like, that's what I'd be doing right now if I was him, was trying to think of what I'm going to do on the last day.
Right.
It's going to be stupid.
Of course.
Believe the stuff I'm going to get into. Oh, prostitution and weed's illegal. Oh, it's legal now.
It's legal now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because all right, so those two things don't make any fucking sense.
No.
Look at the countries where it is legal, no fucking problem.
No.
I mean, they got STDs, but it's normal. It's like they have a better rate of STD spreading than most of the countries that don't allow.
People are still spreading shit here like wildfire. Like it's you put regulations on it. It seems to be working fine in Vegas.
Yeah,
it's great.
Nevada?
Like there's people here, and that's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I understand prostitution. Right. I understand going to a prostitute.
Oh yeah, I get it.
It's not my thing, but it's like it's one of those things where some of these, when you just want to get some of them, and when everybody used to say like, he went to a dude went to a prostitute and just talked.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like,
right, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, like it's somebody there who you don't have to.
You don't have to worry about them judging you or nothing.
Nope, and you still get what you want.
Some you want some interaction, man.
Yeah, they just need interaction. It's a big deal. Sometimes life's hard, and you're willing to spend money just for moments of what you want.
Right.
It's great.
Right.
STDs and stuff.
That's why I thought
take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. That's what you do. Personal responsibility. Don't blame it on anybody else.
That was an FBI thing. They shut down 2 sites. I think it was My Little Red Book or My Little Pink Book or something like that. Mm-hmm. There's a prostitution site, basically, so you didn't need a pimp. You could go online and be like, look, this is what I'll offer you. These are my prices. And then John could go up and be like, okay, here it is. And they'd schedule the deal. And it was basically a safe way of doing it.
Right.
You didn't have to be out there on the streets. Mm-hmm. And they shut those sites down. I think that's kind of fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I think there needs to be something there needs to be almost like a credit report, like your STD report.
Well, that was another thing. Is like they would also. I think there definitely should be a mandated STD report and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, there should be nothing where your information made public. But.
Right, but both of the Johns and the ladies or prostitutes, because it was dudes as well. Mm-hmm. They would be rated like according to their services, like, this guy didn't pay me. They would blacklist this guy because he beat some chick. Right. They had a control system in place to rate people and rate people's transactions because that's the only other way to do it.
Right. Yeah. But that's it. I mean, like the only thing I see that's weird outside of there's violence involved, but then there's like the ladies as part of the service, they can STD free.
Yeah.
But like when John comes in, he can just be gross. I mean, I think you should have like a credit report. Here's
he needs to be his report
updated.
Too. But I also don't think I think it should be made easier. Like that sort of thing should be a public service.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of shit like that like all right, especially things that were mandated. Like we have to pay for insurance. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's fucking retarded. We have to pay for health insurance.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I got 3 kids. I can't afford that shit.
Yeah.
So my kids have health insurance. My wife has health insurance. I ain't got no health insurance.
Yeah.
And I pay the fucking tax man for it. I should probably have health insurance, but I can't fucking afford it.
Right. You quit smoking, you'll do better.
Yeah. So, well, no, it's primarily because of my shit job.
Right.
I call it a shit job. It's really a fucking awesome job. Anybody would be lucky to have this job. I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm okay. Like, as long as they're paying me, I'm going to do the job, but
it's part of being a grown-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. You got responsibilities. You're not
I'll take care of my shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm going to try and figure out a way out.
But that's part of being a job. You complain about it.
Yeah.
To yourself. Like,
Right.
And other people like, hey, my job is so stupid. You paying bills? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then it's cool. I just need to get that off my chest. It's cool. I'm still go. I'm not going to burn the place down. I'm just going to bitch a little bit.
Exactly.
Bitch a little bit. That's what keeps me going every day.
Of course. I wouldn't give up my job.
No,
I mean, unless I had another. Obviously, I got a wife. I got kids. I got a family. I got a house. I mean, I got shit to pay for.
Yeah.
I can't just.
If you can get a better job, yeah.
Oh yeah. If I could do something like making this work. Like,
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Making money doing this. Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
This is the same reason you do your stand up, man.
Right. I mean, yeah. It didn't pay in the bills necessarily, but it's
You enjoy it.
I enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah. Even
love
if this never makes any money, I'm totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it. It's just good for me. I get to sit down and have conversations with people and.
I mean, I'd love for my
amazing.
stand-up to blow up. I'd love it. I'd
Of
and make
course.
real money off it. But,
Of course.
But it isn't happening. I have real bills, so I have a real job, and that's it. If I could, that would maybe quit my job and just do comedy full time. Is if I was to make, if I could make double what I make now doing comedy, absolutely,
Of course.
absolutely. Even if I could make, 0.5 more, half. If I can make what I make now plus half, I might consider it. You know what I mean? Like definitely, but why? I'm not making more doing that than this.
Right.
And I'm too old to live that life.
Right.
So whatever, that's life. I'll just keep hustling, keep knocking stuff out. And at least upside now with the internet, I can kind of get out to some places that I can't travel to before. And if you like it, hey y'all, check it out.
The show. I think it's much easier for comedians and artists to get out there.
Yeah,
through the use of the internet.
Yeah, you call me to do a show, I'll go do a show.
And with the whole birth of automation, I mean that's the only way we're gonna really do things. I think the basic stuff's gonna be taken care of for us. We want some food, we can get some food. Obviously, there has to be variety in it, otherwise we're not happy. I mean, all that shit, the kind of shit's gonna be taken care of, right?
Yeah.
And then so what are we gonna do to make because we always like to make ourselves a little bit more individual than all the other people, right? We all there's that instinct in us that we try. So what are we gonna do? We all gonna be artists and poets and shit like that.
Yeah,
and
fine.
it's just gonna be fun time, man. It's just gonna be
And hang out,
just be cool.
The whole world's artist,
right.
some kind of artist, man, that'd be great.
Well, that was that picture that was. Can we not have a president and just all try really hard to be cool?
Yeah, y'all promise you're gonna be cool.
Yeah,
All right.
let's just be really cool to each other and just not have a fucking president.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You also gotta. I mean, even you and me, like we can't really speak from experience as far as dealing with other cultures and shit like that. So I do think there needs to be some sort of government. I just think it needs to be a better job. I don't necessarily blame any particular individual in the government.
Right.
I think they're all just small, tiny cogs with their own little self-interest. They're all sort of running their own game.
Right.
And, they work together to each, benefit each other. But they're not actively trying to bring down the fucking world.
No. No.
I think they're just retarded, just like everybody else.
Everybody, I mean, all these elected officials have their own agenda.
Right.
So to stay elected, to stay a senator or a congressman, you better be doing what's right for the masses you represent. And sometimes
that's how it used to be, I think. I don't think it.
I mean, like, but
there's too much money in it right now. For
they don't
them
necessarily do. Well, yeah. Well, the people who pay you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But that doesn't necessarily jive with what they're doing, and that's you working together, but you're not. It's nobody. I don't know.
Or maybe you could incentivize senators and congressmen and all people that have any sort of power. Maybe you can incentivize them by the higher their approval rate, the more money they make.
Right. I mean,
up to a certain cap.
But
if you're a shit politician, you can
get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I also don't think there should be any more money in it than that. It can't be supported by any sort of companies, no contributions or anything like that. It should be an even playing field like a lot of other countries do it. It don't matter how small your campaign is. If you want to fucking get up on stage and have something to say against these people, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah. It should be some kind of like, all right, you get this much. Like you just...
Right. It's all a part of a pie. Whenever you make a campaign contribution as a citizen, businesses aren't allowed to do it. Or even if they wanted to allow businesses to do it, but it should all be a part of a pot, and that pot be split up amongst those people.
And
obviously, it have to be controlled.
Yeah, this dude is doing better than this dude. You get a little more.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Hey, step your game up if you want something.
Right.
Do what you need to do. Right. Not illegal and not against anybody.
Well, I think the issue there is they can't make money doing it.
No. Well, no. That's why you become a senator.
Right.
Like you make money. You do.
Well, especially after that, they go outside and they become like consultants and they run like they're hired on as CEOs of corporations because the corporation wants a particular thing.
Right.
Look at the Fed and Goldman Sachs and how many of those people are now involved in our financial dealings.
Right.
Like it's all those high end executives.
Yeah. No, it is. It's just a weird. That's it. There's money involved.
Right.
People want to get money. Everybody's an individual. Bills needs to get paid. And somebody's giving you money for that. It's not good, but it's not. You can't fault them for it either.
No.
If somebody's throwing cash your way to do a thing that you didn't really care about in the first place, meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
I think, but I also think that those people that are making those decisions and being influenced in that way, I don't think they're necessarily doing anything that's evil. Nobody does anything that they think is evil.
No.
I think they just don't understand the consequences. I think they're just dumb like everybody else.
It's evil to the people who think it's evil.
Right.
That's it. Like, you're still dealing with a large number of people who are like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. I've never had to deal with that, so
Yeah, I think that's a big problem with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Is that everybody's like, oh, well, all lives matter. Of course, all lives fucking matter. But if you look at the people that, say shit like that, are they involved in any way, shape, or form?
Right.
The reason Black Lives Matter is sort of a working thing is because they actually are out there doing protests. And
it's about awareness. It was this thing I read. I'm going to see if I can remember how it went. It was somebody's analogy of Black Lives Matter. It was these 4 people were out to dinner, and one guy's named Bob. And everybody gets their food except Bob. And Bob says, Bob needs food. And everybody else says, everybody needs food. It's like, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
But that doesn't help the fact that Bob
still needs fucking food.
So it's to bring awareness, like, yo, give me my food.
Right.
Like, we're getting, as far as Black Lives Matter, we're dying. We're dying. Right. And I've had a couple arguments on Facebook, which I never do, but I had to.
Oh man, I know.
It's insane. But like, a lot of it is, I don't think people get it. They just don't get it. That's the problem. Especially for me, it's like, y'all know I'm a black dude, right? Like, I'm a little scared. Like, I've never really been scared. I've never gotten in a lot of trouble. I've gotten in some dumb shit, shit, but whatever.
Everybody done shit.
Right. I never gotten into anything where everybody had me at gunpoint. Like, 2 cops had me at gunpoint.
I have. Yeah. I got one, and they were looking for a dude named BJ.
Right.
And they laughed our tits off because they broke into a D&D game.
Nice.
We were in the ghetto fucking playing D&D, and we get this loud banging at the door, and my buddy Jonathan opens in, and like 4 cops just pour in, like guns drawn, and we're all just sort of sitting there like, what the fuck? We got Doritos and some fucking microbrews, and we're playing, we got dice on the table with little miniatures.
Yeah.
What, they're like, BJ here? No, dude, we don't know a fucking BJ. What are you doing?
Yeah.
They're like, whose car is that outside? I don't fucking know.
I walked. Yeah, that's
and you just see the dudes in the back. Like, there's one idiot asking questions. You see the dudes in the back just sort of smiling, going, "Oh shit, this is just a bunch of nerds, man."
Yeah, yeah. I never got anything because I've had enough shitty friends who just things happen, so I don't. They're good. I've been lucky enough to have some shit friends who are very secretive and can keep it hidden.
The good shit friends, I guess, or at least the bad shit friends, are the ones you learn from.
Yeah. Oh,
but
absolutely.
they're good for you, but they do something really fucked up, and you're like, well, you shouldn't have done that shit.
It's weird. I went to private schools, not all the way through. Like,
you went to private schools?
I went to private schools.
You lucky prick.
Well, it was. Here's the thing. My high school especially was funny for a private school because it was as public of a private school as you could be.
All right.
Because it was a Christian school. So I played football. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
But they would let in anybody who had problems at public school. So if you flunked out of fucking public school, they'd be like, come here. So we had so many shitty kids. So many shitty kids. And the thing about private school kids is they are very good at hiding their shit.
Oh, of course. You got to be. You learn.
That's it. Well, they got a lot of them have lawyer dads or somebody has some money.
Right, they got to have some money coming from somewhere.
Right, so they know how to hide it. I mean, like, public school kids get in trouble for smoking weed. Private school kids are doing fucking cocaine, and it's fine. Nobody's catching them because they know how to get away with it.
Right.
So I had enough friends where I could get away with enough dumb shit.
Yep.
Hiding places. I knew, but like I never had the experience of cops like breaking into my house or putting me to the ground or anything.
Well, that was a particular experience. I guess we were still older than that. I mean, we were like all 21 at least.
Right.
Like earlier than that, at 16, I've been in the back of a cop car with handcuffs on, potentially going to jail for kidnapping.
Oh, that's just fucked up. Like,
yeah, I've been through that.
Yeah,
I've done some. When I say I've done some crazy shit, like,
right?
I've done some crazy shit.
Yeah, but like it's those are just shit situations. It's that just sucks. I've never had that happen.
Now that one was a crazy bitch. Like that was.
Oh, well, that.
And I don't like calling women bitches, but she.
You know what? Some women.
She fit the bill. Yeah. All right, she fit the fucking bill.
You asked for it. Like you don't call a female a bitch just out of nowhere. No. Like, what's up, bitch? Like that's no. And I say bitch a lot and whatever. I like the word, but
it's fine. You can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things that like I'm not gonna call you out your name. If you're being a bitch,
I'll call you a bitch. Right.
I'll call a dude a bitch. If I'm being a bitch, call me a bitch.
So she had this weird delusion that we were gonna run away together. She informed me of that after we had gone to pick her up, and we were driving her back to my place. Now, granted, my dad was out of town. I was 16. And I had, a buddy over. We had some beer. Come on. It was fucking...
It's 16. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, and my dad came home that night, so I had to hide her ass in my closet. She stayed there all fucking night. It was great. The next morning, I woke up before my dad woke up and walked her ass like a mile down the road to a buddy of mine's apartment. She was going to stay there. By the time I had gone downstairs, there were like 2 squad cars and her grandmother's car there. And I was like, all right, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Well, apparently she had wrote like a runaway note to her grandmother and told her where my ass was going to be.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so they put me in the back of a cop car and they're like, you're going away for kidnapping. The fuck?
Yeah. No, but that's a shit situation. Like, but as far as, like, I've never just been messed over for being black either. And it's, I think a lot of it is too, like, I know what I look like. It's like, I'm not dark complected at all. So in passing quickly, you don't know what I am?
Yeah, you could be Mexican.
I could be.
You could pass for Puerto Rican, I think.
Yeah, and you don't want to deal with that ever. I could be maybe Dominican. I don't know.
Dominican? Yeah. Fun. But I know a guy from Venezuela. You could pass for Venezuelan.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't know if they want to arrest a Samoan. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think but a lot of times you don't know what I am. I do think some of it too with cops, like because you don't know what I am, I may be as much white as I am black.
Right. You could have, a rich lawyer daddy.
Exactly. You don't want to deal with that. And like my name, it's helped me. If you know my name, you're gonna think twice. Like Honore is a pretty popular name in Baton Rouge. It is. We're like black Klein Peters. Like that's it. There's plenty of us. Like
Johnson's, man. Johnson's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's very Baton Rouge name also, but. It's a lot, like I have family, they're off cousins who do construction, built a lot of nice things for not a lot of rich people. So you got to double check before you do that. So sometimes if you know who I am, you might want to, let me not just go crazy.
Right.
But then they got other people, it's like, oh, well, this fucking black dude, he ain't shit. Like you don't want to, you're willing to take that chance more so than with me.
Of course.
Which is, I'm not saying it's right, but I have no control over how I look.
Let me see. I also got a polygraph test once. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
I learned just how police detectives work. So I used to work for a school board, or work for the school board doing computer repair work. And they had come in or somebody had stole some fucking computers. That night there was a homecoming game, and we were showing off like this new science wing that the school had built or whatever. And there was this little cart full of laptops, and you could like plug them up to all the science tools and shit like that, little measuring equipment and stuff. It was cool, but I had a date that night because it was homecoming, and of the nerdy dudes that ran the display, like I was the one with the date, so it's cool. So I went with my date to the homecoming dance, and they handled the display for the parents. And so I'd gone, on that thing, and it, like weeks and weeks had gone by. I had heard something about it, maybe.
Right.
But there was one day I got a call from some detective. And I'm not sure how he got my number, but he was like, "Hey man, I'm sitting outside your house. Can I come? Can you come talk to me?" I'm like, that's a little fucking weird, but yeah. So I went and sat and talked to this dude, and he was like, "Hey, some laptops have gone missing." He's like, "Yeah, I think I heard something about that, and it was supposed to be that night." And so yeah, they basically they're like, "Oh well, the Vans. I was wearing Vans at the time." It was like those Vans they match or he didn't say those Vans. He said those. He said, "Let me see the bottom of your shoe." I showed it to him. He goes, "Oh well, that footprint matches the exact same." That we found on top of a desktop. We think, somebody had hidden up in the ceiling and came down after they locked up.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I wasn't there. I got movie ticket stubs. Like after the homecoming game, we didn't go to the dance because we're fucking nerds. We went to go see like Star Wars or some shit.
Nice, yeah.
And so I was like, look, dude, I got ticket stubs. I said, you want to come search my house for missing laptops? Go right the fuck ahead. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I can't do that. Would you come down and take a polygraph test? So I did. I went down there and took a polygraph test, and There was no like I just did the polygraph test, and they're like, "Oh, well, you obviously lied to us. You know something about it." And I was like, no, I don't. And so they sent me there for like 2 hours, just asking me like, "Come on, man, just help us out. Did you need the money or whatever?" I was like, "Dude, no."
Yeah.
It's like if I wanted to steal the laptops, I work for the school board. I've got access to the shipping warehouse, and Dell misships all the time. Yeah. So all I'd have to do is just walk in and take some laptops and walk out.
Yeah, like we never got them.
And if we never got them, and they'd resend to Dell.
Right. Yeah.
Like if I wanted to steal the laptops, I could have fucking stole them, but I don't because I like my job. So
right. Yeah. No, polygraph tests are weird. They're not because they do it based on brain activity.
Well, it's not only that they don't have to tell you the truth.
No.
They can lie though. They can lie to you. That's what cops can do during an interrogation.
Oh yeah, they will lie to you. That's where that whole thing. We already know.
They just want to close the fucking case.
Right. That's what they come in and they're like, all right, your friend here already told us, so you might as well just tell us.
Right.
And then they don't have shit on you, dude. Like,
no.
What are you doing? Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, just shut up. Don't say anything. Talk to any lawyer. Just shut the fuck up.
If you get arrested, they may grill you for up to 72 hours.
Right.
And then fuck them. Like that's all. That's it. Just shut up and sit still for 3 days.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, cops are dumb.
Okay.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
I don't want to speak ill of cops. It's one of those things that falls under procedures.
I think just people are dumb.
Oh, people are dumb. But that's the thing with cops. Like they're not dumb, but they like I said, jobs suck. Like you don't want to be there. You don't want to have to ask this dude questions about some shit.
Right.
You're like, dude, just tell me.
But some of them get off on it. Some of them it's like they think they're chasing something. I mean, I legitimately think that they may have thought I'd actually done something. At least as hard as they questioned me for it.
They're like, we're gonna break him.
Yeah, we're gonna break him. And
it became
that
thing. We're gonna break this guy.
It's like I'm just a nervous fucking teenager sitting here talking to cops. I got no parents here. Like I just got my driver's license last week. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, there's nothing to break out of me. Like I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you by the time I stole a candy bar from Walgreens when I was 4, if that makes you feel better. But that's all you got on me. But.
Yeah, I agree. So what where's your inspiration come from, man? Why comedy? Why
apparently I've always been humorous. I don't know. I've always been this. I think it came from a lot of my humor. A lot of anybody's humor comes from pain.
Yeah.
Or some kind of darker place.
That's exactly what I was about to ask. Because every single person that I found that has at least a sense of humor, or at least a decent head on their shoulders, even not even necessarily a sense of humor, just people with that are capable of some deep thought. They've had some shit in their life. It comes. You got to suffer a little bit.
It does. It does. It comes from a definite dark place. Like I mean, I've always been a fat kid, so that's hard. Bullies happen. You hear that, and it came to a point where if you're either gonna something you realize early without even realizing it, they're gonna pick on you. They're gonna call you things. So you either get on board or cry to death. Like it's.
That's something I'm working on my kids with, because I mean one of them he's got some trouble fitting in, especially around here. I mean it's a good school district, but the families that have been here for fucking ever. So he's coming in as an older kid, and so they never he's new, so he's getting it real fucking hard.
Right.
And it's like, look, man, it's gonna happen. Yeah. There's no way you can avoid it. Kids are fucking evil. Yeah.
I think that's what people need to do too. It's bullies are real. And
they're a thing.
Suck. But they're always going to be there.
Yeah, bullies you can't make the rules to where the bullies go away.
Bullies don't disappear when you get out of school. You work with bullies until you live with them. The bullies are always, they just call them different. They're coworkers at that point.
Right.
That's all they are. It's just going to be there's always some asshole who's like, hey, what's up? Hey, nice haircut, stupid. Bitch, I'm 30. Who are you talking to?
Who the fuck are you?
That's the same thing. It's just an older version. You're always going to deal with them, but I think that's where
well, that's kind of, I'm just trying to teach them. It's like, dude, some people are assholes. You just have to try not to be an asshole and look for other people that aren't assholes.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, it's just kind of how it works.
You'll find them.
Oh yeah, they're there.
They're there. They just haven't exposed themselves yet because they get picked on. Right. They just need to find you, and you need to find them, and everybody needs to find each other, and you'll be that group in school.
Yeah,
that's what it is. But yeah, that's where a lot of my stuff. Mine just came from. I grew up an only child. I had a lot of time to myself.
Me too.
A lot of thinking, a lot of imaginary stuff. That kind of just became. I wasn't a weird kid, but I was just kind of elsewhere.
I was more. I was known as my group. Like I said, they were huge nerds, but I was known as the lawyer of the group because I'd bounce around a lot.
Nice.
I just like interesting. I guess I like other thoughts besides it's Dungeons and Dragons and this is what happened.
That's kind of how I was. I was that guy who was especially in high school was. I didn't. I played football. Yes, I wasn't a jock. Like, I just wasn't. I hung out with them. I like hanging out with the kids who played music and like I played with the football.
I was in
jocks.
band.
See, I wanted to be in band, but football takes up so much stupid time.
Dude, football. I understand.
They wouldn't let me do anything else, but. Those kids, and it was the kids who listened to Tool. Or those guys.
I was with those people too.
I love them. I hung out with the girls because I like girls.
Oh yeah, girls are awesome.
Girls, yeah, no, it's a different thought process. You can only hang
girls
out with,
work differently, man. They're a different machine. I was raised by a single mother, so I guess I've always kind of got it.
Right.
And you know, my single mother and her friends who are all girls.
Right.
Like my male influencers are like my grandfather, and I obviously didn't see them all the time,
Right.
so I understand women a bit better than.
Yeah.
They just work. They work, but they're just on a slightly different frequency.
It was exactly. It was helpful. Cause I hung out. I like to be around the girls because the way they thought was just so different, and it helped me. Like I feel like I understand women better now,
Of course,
because I hung out with. So it's like, oh, you don't. Yeah, if you hang out with football players all day long, they're stupid people.
Right.
They're stupid people. So and like I was fairly smart in high school, I guess. Like I was the only football player who was actually like in a trig class. I was in a trig class with cheerleaders and girls, and it was my favorite. I loved it. Yeah, hanging out with
my favorite class was physics. Actually,
really,
I loved the fuck out of that. It was great. Well, I think that was primarily from our teacher.
Yeah,
like we got to build like a trebuchet and launch water balloons at his ass for bonus points.
That's just nice.
I mean, each individual has got to build a trebuchet. We got to build like a Rube Goldberg machine. We had to do like all the physics for all the moving parts. I mean, we did some crazy shit in physics. I really enjoyed that class.
I don't remember a thing from my physics class.
I don't remember the math. I remember hanging out with people.
I don't remember that. Like our class was, it was a first year teacher who was, he gave up on us day one. Really honest. I mean, there's some teachers like that. He just like, he came in and just was done.
Well, my first wife, that's one thing I do have to accommodate her for. She's actually been on the show to talk about the whole teaching thing. I think it's called, I forget what the episode's called. I even forget what the number it is. Doesn't matter. Look at it. It's obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a talk about the whole industry, and that's one thing I deeply respect in her is she really wants to go into special education, which is fucking hard, man.
That's impressive.
I know. And not only that, but she seems to be genuinely interested in it. Like, I don't know how the fuck her brain works because I couldn't do that. I love my kids, but some days.
I know. Yeah.
How you gonna be dealing with some of the most difficult kids out there? I mean, that's a job.
That is hard. Like I don't even, like I couldn't even, I have a hard, like the other people always ask me, they always tell me like, hey, you should go back to school and be a teacher. I'm like, I know I'm good with kids, but I don't want to be around them that much. I don't want to be responsible for them.
Right.
So no.
I mean, it's different with my own kids, especially, but
that's yours.
Yeah, exactly. It's mine. But also even my own kids. Any parent that tells you they never get sick of their own kids is full of shit.
I couldn't imagine.
Some parents get sick. Look, that's why me and my wife work so well is like after this, like she's taking care of the kids, took them out of the house, keep the noise down, make a good recording, right? After this, I'll take over and she's going to go fucking sleep her tits off. That's what she's going to go do.
Amazing.
And I'm going to sit here and watch cartoons and, fucking play with the baby and that's how the shit works. She takes care of you, you take care of her. That's fucking it, pretty much.
Pretty much, but yeah. Anyway, like my comedy, that's where it comes up. Just it's always a darker place, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of thought. I don't know. I think that makes for good comics.
I think
you
so
gotta
too.
have a little deeper.
Well, I've written like a 5-minute set. I've never performed it. I have like on one-on-one with people, I'm really, really good, but I got stage fright, I guess. There's no other way to describe it, but that shit, it's getting more and more to the point where it's just like, I just want to go up, just fuck it. Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Well, sometimes that's what you got to do. You just do it, and it's like, all right, that was cool, or all right, maybe not. Like that's what it is. Like there's a lot of comedians.
Well, around. I know it takes work. It's not something you can just expect to be good at out of the gate. No. You gotta learn to maneuver and figure out what works.
Right. I know my strengths, and like me memorizing verbatim a set, I'd never be able to do it. I can't do it. That's the point.
So there are a bunch of comics that work that way.
No, and yeah, they do, and they're really good. Me, I feel like every time I'm on stage is a little different, just because I guess that might be the theater background. It's just you're different because it's different. The mood, the air, the temperature, the audience, like everything's different.
Right. So each crowd's different. I would
exactly.
imagine.
Yeah, you have to accept that and acknowledge it and use it. Like some people will go up there and just regardless of the crowd, they're just gonna blop 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 through their set with just the same words they always use, same emotion, same
timing. They're not evolving any.
They're not, but they're not aware. Yeah. A lot of them aren't aware. If you can't be where you are and accept that, because sometimes you're gonna have people yelling. Sometimes the room's gonna be too hot. Sometimes the light's gonna be too bright or not bright enough, and you have to deal with that. And every time, and I don't know. That's the organic for me is what is important. I like the fact that it changes. Like I love when my audience is different. I did something at T's Country.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that post. How was that?
T's Country is a weird place.
I would imagine so.
They were really drunk.
I know denim people.
Yeah.
And
that's end of the line people. That's wild.
Oh yeah.
But they were drunk. They talked to me. I barely did any jokes. I just talked to them for 30 minutes.
All right.
It was fine. Because they wouldn't let me say anything. They just wanted me to talk. So
all right.
I couldn't do any jokes. And then they have some where they're just staring at you and like they're entertained, but they don't laugh. But you just have to to deal with that too.
I think for me, I have to laugh. Like I can watch something that's funny and not laugh. Mm-hmm. But if I watch something that's funny with a friend who also finds it funny, oh, that's the funniest shit ever. We won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, and that's how it is.
It's also a different dynamic depending on who you have with you.
Right. Sometimes, like I watch stuff and it's just like,
yeah, right. Yeah, it's good.
Or like I watch enough stand up where and a lot of times like stand ups don't laugh at other stand ups, and it's not because it's rude or they don't think it's funny. They think it's hilarious.
I think I watch so much stand up now that it has to be a really special set
it has to be somebody
for
who
it to get
seen.
me. Yeah,
I'm the same way. A lot of people they'll say some or just some will be new or funny or different, but for the most part, a lot of comedians we're like, oh, we're gonna do your joke in our head like, oh, I would do it like this, or sometimes it's straight up like, why didn't I think of that? Holy shit!
I think that's a danger of. I was about to ask, how do you avoid stealing people's content, like unintentionally? Because some of that shit's gonna stick in your brain. Listening to all this comedy, like, is it difficult to avoid to try and not step on each other's toes?
I don't watch as much comedy outside of that. I mean, the guys I do stand up with for the most part. Like I know their stuff, they know mine. We were in the same thing, so we know each other's stuff. If I go somewhere else,
I heard Evan talking about dropping a joke because he heard somebody do something similar, and he just want to step on.
And it's also those times like I try and write my jokes in its own world, and sometimes it kind of gets close to somebody's joke, and if you like parts of it, you rearrange it. If it's not worth it, you toss it.
Right.
And there's other times where like you just. Sometimes you have a very similar, like almost too similar joke. You didn't copy.
Well, I mean, there's some comedy there's common experiences in life. There's shit that all of us go through, especially with everything that we do. There's always some shit that common things with eating, with families, with taking a shit. Like there's comedies. Everybody's got at least half the population has a dick. We've all gone through some similar shit with a penis. Right. Like there's only so many dick jokes that you can write. Right,
and that's what you have. Some people have it, and some people's like it's just like my joke. His is better. Or I mean, I've had jokes where I know I've written that were mine, and I've seen another comedian on TV tell it that was so similar that it's hard to deny. Right. But it's still just like, oh, well, they beat me to the punch. I guess I get to drop this joke, and that's fine. Right. Sometimes you drop a joke. It's not. It's like, well.
I think where the trouble comes in is like all these shows that tend to make a lot of money, and you got the writers for those shows, and they go to comedy clubs and they steal that shit to put it in their show. Oh, yeah. I think that's a fucking problem.
That's a super hacky book. That's garbage. And they'll be like,
of course, because they're not the comedian that came up with that shit isn't making any money off of his fucking property.
That's one of my biggest fears, honestly. It's I don't do a lot of online stuff. I should, and just have my face to it so you really can't deny it. Some kind of timestamp and thing, but.
Well, I think it's good to have that record at the very least. Even if you don't put any of it up there, it's good to at least have that record. So if any of that shit, if somebody is stalking your shows and stealing your shit, I mean, you can come up and say, look, I did this show here, and here's the joke that I did.
That's one of the biggest upsides of videos. It's just like, no, dude, I got a timestamp. This is my joke. You hacked it. I know you saw me. Like, I've seen you watching me.
Right.
You took my shit. Who are you? Like, which it hadn't happened very often. Some people have gotten real close, and sometimes people are like, this dude just said a joke that was very close to yours. I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, I bet I'm funnier. I bet money.
Right. As long as my timing's better and I get more laugh, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and take it. Fuck it. There's people who will, if you're in a conversation with them, who will take your conversation and turn it into their joke.
Well, that's a concern of mine with especially with this show, because there's a lot of ideas I sort of rehash and go over old episodes, and it's like I'm sure some of my ideas are things I've heard from other people and other shit like that. But how, like, it's difficult for me to keep like, okay, well, so and so said this on this particular date, and that's where I got this idea from.
Right. Yeah.
I can't keep up with that shit. I'm not that smart, man.
Yeah.
So this is the idea. I'm not sure where the fuck I got it from. Yeah, everybody's a collection of all their ideas.
Yeah. I watch some stand up. Like specials or anything, but
dude, Tom Segura, I'm sorry, his last special fucking destroyed me.
Oh yeah.
Love me some Tom.
Tom Segura is great. I didn't see him when he came to Lafayette. That was good.
He came to Lafayette?
Yeah, last year.
How do you find out about this shit? Because I keep missing stuff like
this.
You
got to keep up with the comedians. Like some of the people who run shows. There's a guy, Jason Leonard, in Lafayette who runs the shows. He gets great shows. He gets some great people out. I don't know where he gets the financing, but I'm not going to ask because he works.
Right.
And he got Tom Segura. And Evan's getting some great people out here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like Mark Norman's coming, and have you seen Mark Norman?
I think I've seen bits and pieces. I don't think I've seen a full set.
Dude's good. He's from New Orleans. He's from
I've seen him
here.
in like there was these little Twitter memes that were going around for a while. It was like just a comedian, like just some short little one-liners they'd done.
He has a bunch. He's been on Conan. You can find his stuff. Dude's great. I've known him for years. Hilarious. He works with he actually writes for Amy Schumer.
Oh, fantastic.
And does stuff.
I don't know, maybe not fantastic because
he opens for her.
Busted for some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he opens for her. She was busted for some men, whatever.
Yeah.
Mark Norman's fine. Great guy. Be at that show. But like Evan runs those. He does a great. But like you follow the comedians, we know people.
That's kind of what I was doing, and in order to like, I don't want to. All right, so look, I'm obviously trying to build a show here, like. I don't want to just come in and just like, skeeve off, other people's talent.
Right.
I'm not interested in stealing anybody's comedy or putting any shows up there. I don't do fucking stand up.
Right.
But I don't want to seem like, I'm hunting for talent. That's exactly what I'm doing. But at the same time, I don't want to put, I don't want to give anything back to the community because I love fucking stand up. I've had stand up since I was little. It's the only thing that's really made sense to me growing up in a redneck fucking coon ass family.
Right.
Well, I was listening to Pryor and Carlin when I was 10 and 11. A little record player underneath the bed. I mean, I learned pretty quickly, and they've just comedians to me have always been sort of they're heroes. Yeah. And I understand they're just everyday fucking people telling everyday stories, but I love the way that they
I think if you see him as a hero, that's the heroism of it. It's just, look, this guy is just a regular person.
Right. He's just a dude, and look what he made of himself.
Yeah, look at telling you stories that make sense. Like, that's hard. It's hard to find people who say things that you can relate to.
Right.
And make you laugh at it.
Of course.
Like, comedy's hard. Like, people,
of course. I have no doubt.
A lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people just being funny. Like, it's not just being funny.
I know lots of naturally funny people, but I don't think they'd be good for stand-up. There's a difference between riffing and writing jokes that work.
Right. Like, I mean, riffing's good, but you gotta, if you can't put together a coherent thought that other people can relate to, what are you doing? You can try and be alt comic at that point where it's just so fucking esoteric, where it's just in your own little world. It doesn't matter. Like, but
I don't know. Do you think Stephen Wright falls into that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, but I love his stuff. Though.
Yeah, but it's great. But it's so weird that it's
so weird that it's I don't know. It's just good.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just like, what the fuck?
It's such a bizarre fucking, like, I lost a buttonhole.
Yeah. Like, what
the fuck? Who comes up with that?
Yeah, that's like those are some of the things you need. I like Bo Burnham a lot.
Oh, I like Bo.
His last special just was insane to me. Like, I had to watch it and stop. I couldn't watch it again because
he hits on so many important points, and yet he spins them in such a beautiful way, or such a way that just it's either funny or
It's I don't know. But it's also this structure that's so OCD about it, but it seems so natural at the same time. It's so good. I was jealous. I had to stop.
I like all his stuff on the comedic, or at least the process of being creative, like the creative process itself. I love his stuff there. It's just very insightful.
It really is. But there's like Bill Burr is insane.
I love me some Burr.
God, he's good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's Patrice O'Neal. I mean, I guess they're all old because he's dead. But Patrice O'Neal had this ability to just.
I like Patton too.
Patton's great. His last special was really good.
Oh, it was good. I enjoyed Patton.
Really, like. There's so many good comedians who have something to say, and
they made Rape Stove.
They what? Oh, did they?
Yeah, they made the Rape Stove movie.
Oh shit!
From Patton's joke. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
I think they were gonna. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. They made Deathbed. They were going to make Rape Stove.
No, okay.
So Rape Stove's still in production, I hope.
Yeah, wow.
But they made Deathbed.
Yeah, it's so many good comedians. And like I take a lot of influence from all of them.
Right.
I mean, there's even like some of the old Def Comedy Jam comedians, the old Bernie Mac stuff. Like all those were never really my style because I'm not hamburger. Like that's just not me. But like there's still some funny to it. Old Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Genius. So good. And it was some people gave him shit for like, because it was so black, if you want to call it that. But it's like, dude, it's genius. Yeah. Even like Eddie Griffin.
Do you like it? Let me see.
Cat Williams.
I like some Cat. Some of his stuff's a little out there for me.
It's gotten more out there. His first couple specials.
His first couple specials were,
insane.
Those were good.
Like Tink Tink's still a joke.
Little Tink Tink.
That dude's in jail now. You still like, they locked up Tink Tink. We still call that dude Tink Tink, and it's because of Cat Williams.
Of course.
That's genius.
Cat did some great shit.
Oh yeah, he just kind of went crazy.
Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah, some people crazy.
I mean, yeah, drugs and money will do that.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, I mean, look at what happened to Eddie.
Yeah,
poor Eddie Murphy. I saw his brother at the airport.
Nah, his brother's real bad. Eddie Murphy doesn't actually do drugs. Never has. He just likes women, and he's had a lot of money.
Yeah. He's gone through a lot of money.
He's gone through a lot of money. Well, he's paying for children.
Yeah.
So, but he's made a lot of money when you think about. I was listening to him talk about when he was on that like family movie kick for a while, like Haunted Mansion and Daddy Daycare. And people
I did like it. Like my kids love those movies.
They're great. People gave him shit. Okay, he did early Eddie Murphy movies. Great, Coming to America.
Yep.
All those. Then he started when he started doing like Harlem Nights, people gave him shit. He started doing like Distinguished Gentlemen. They were giving him shit because like you were only one character. You weren't in makeup. And then he started doing the kid movies, and people gave him real shit about it. And he was like, y'all know I made more movie voicing a donkey than I did for the 80s.
Yep.
So y'all can go to hell. And he had kids. That's what you do though.
Sense.
He had kids. You do stuff for your kids.
Right.
And now he's...
Well, even Carlin did, was it Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah.
The first time I saw Carlin was Thomas the Tank Engine.
Me too.
And the first time I heard his stand-up, I was blown the fuck away.
Right. I had no idea. That's crazy, but that's what you do. Like you know who I am. You know what I'm about.
Right.
Why can't I also be this?
Right.
And that'd be amazing. That's what you want to do. Like I can do anything, y'all. Why can't I be a hippie who hates the government and a
I think a big name is Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I got to see him before he got real big. Mm-hmm. Man, he destroyed. It was great.
Kevin Hart's old specials are great. I like Kevin Hart. I think he's doing what he should right now. He's oversaturating.
Yeah, but he's working, man.
There is no person whose hustle I respect more than his.
No shit, right?
That is work. I wish I could get on that kind of hustle, but he's I'm gonna do this move, I'm gonna do this move, keep doing this, I'm gonna do special, I'm gonna do blah blah blah. Like he just keeps working because he knows there's a finite amount of time to do this. Yep. He's getting all his money, getting all his fame. You know who Kevin Hart is? He's A-list now.
Of course.
He's been working for 5 years hard, and it's paid off.
Yeah,
great.
I do like some Kevin Hart.
That's a good hustle. I wish I had that.
I don't think normal people like.
I don't think you're not allowed to have that hustle. You're not allowed,
right?
Because he'll film 2 movies at once. What movie set is going to be like going to let you leave early to go film another movie?
None.
And then go film your TV show, and then go film your TV special.
Right, and then they'll go that night to an open mic and work on some material for your special.
They don't let you do that. They let him, and he's going to take advantage of it. Fucking right. Of course. Get your money.
Well, I think a lot of people, or even I really appreciate Louis C.K. as well, like what he's done with his show.
Yeah.
I mean, he for a while he was. I think some people are on the show now, but when it first started, he was doing all the editing, all the directing, and acting, and like he was doing all the fucking work.
Right. I didn't watch his last one that just kind of popped up on the internet.
I didn't either.
I heard it was good, but it was one of those things where he just spent his own money. And that's the thing, he spends his own money, makes his own money. Mm-hmm. Like you want to watch my special? It costs you $5 on here.
Yeah, just go on his site, throw $5 at him, and you can watch his special.
Exactly, and he's become a millionaire off it.
Of course,
it's great, and that's
good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. His show is great. It's even one of those things where
his show's a little dark though.
It's very dark.
His show goes some dark fucking places.
It does, but that's great. They get real weird.
Just an FYI to my friends out there that enjoy pot. Don't watch his show on an edible. You'll have a bad fucking day.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Because some of them they take hard turns.
Yeah.
Real quick. But even they deal with the good issues. They
do. I love the, especially like how he is with his daughters, like telling them that they don't have a right to be bored because of all this shit, the space they have in their head.
Right.
Imagine anything. Stop being. You're
not allowed.
You're not allowed to be bored, or not worry about what your sister has. He's like, you don't worry about what your sister has unless you're making sure she has enough.
Right.
Like you don't. I kind of like.
No,
some of his ideas he explores.
He does, but then like the best thing is it's not happy and feely. His kids still don't get it, and they're still assholes.
Of course,
they don't. It's not like a Cosby Show where they're like, "You're right, Dad.
You're right. Oh, right."
No, it's like I want that though.
Yeah, it's like, but break her shit because my shit's broken too.
Right. It's a great show. I don't think it's coming back. I think he finally.
You think he's done?
Yeah, but he did it the right way. He didn't tell anybody. He's like, man, I'm just done.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the way to do it. I think a lot of ideas, they just carry themselves too far, and they become shadows, and they're I guess wannabes of the thing that they were,
right? When
they weren't trying,
and
so when they start trying, you fuck it up.
Yeah, he just had this weird natural show. I remember when they showed his wife, and he made her a black woman, but it's like it was such a weird moment because. Both of his children are blonde, white. Yeah. And it's this black one. But, like, it's like, you have to take yourself out of that. Like, y'all, it's just a TV show. I can do it. I can make it a bear if I wanted to. Like, that's it. Because it's still just TV. I know it feels real because of I don't know, just it felt real. Maybe it was part of the budget. It was a single camera. Mm-hmm. That thing where it just felt like you were part of it. It wasn't a set. It was clearly him walking around. So it feels real, but it's like, yeah. This woman was the best actress.
Yeah, she got the part.
Yeah, that's what's up. And like, y'all are fine with it. And after you watch it, you're like, yeah,
that's fine.
His wife, perfect. Like, that's a perfect representation of his wife.
Of course.
These kids are perfect representation of his children. These fucking little shits.
Right.
It's a great show.
Yeah, I love me some Louis. But yeah, man, we've been on for an hour and 36 minutes.
Nice. I told you I could talk.
Oh, dude, that's the best. Yeah. That's the best. And I love the show because it doesn't stick in any particular place for any particular amount of time. It likes to wander and fucking move around. Yeah. So typically I cut shows off here. You're more than welcome to hang out after the fact or whatever you want. Get you another beer.
Cool. Yeah, I think I might head. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, man. I'll definitely come back in the future and we'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
I know we didn't really touch on the issues as much as you'd like today.
That's true. That's fine.
It was expected to have more people. But
yeah, we were.
Well, I think we touched on some fun stuff. I hope people listen and think about something, if nothing else.
Right, and I fully support people commenting in the comments. That's kind of I need to generate all right. So as a comedian, you don't evolve unless you get some feedback from your audience, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, you can't figure out what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong unless you get some feedback from the audience. So if you hated this shit, fucking say so.
Right, but also know that I reserve the right to tell you to go fuck yourself. Of
course, totally. But if you just say, oh well, this is a piece of shit, give me a reason why. Why was this a piece of shit?
Yeah, elaborate. Don't.
Right. I'm trying to make a show here. I understand. I'm not the fucking greatest broadcaster or whatever that's ever been. I fucking get that. Help me to grow and better my art.
I'm not Tom Brokaw here. I'm doing a podcast. Chill out.
Yeah. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, like I said, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You got any spots coming up, man?
What do I have? I have a show. I think July 22nd is a thing at the office that I just found out about. There's some other shows going. Check me out. Facebook. I'm Mike Honore. Easy to find. I post stuff what I do. So yeah, follow me and I'll let you know what's going on. Follow me on Twitter. What is that? That is Mike Honore. Just all one word. I got in lucky. Instagram, Mike_Honore. I missed the boat on that one. But follow me on those things. I talk, I say things. I'll talk more if you follow me more.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you guys, and stay tuned for the next one. For fuck's sake, I can't talk. Oh, that was amazing. That was so good.